Hello, my name is Kai, and today I'm going to show you some basic operations with the Belair X612 camera. First thing I want to show you is how to open it. On the very bottom of the camera, there's a button right in the middle of the bottom of the camera. If you give that a push, that releases the lens board, and the camera will extend. Closing the camera is a little trickier. If you look at the struts on either side, you'll see a little round silver button. What you need to do is pinch both at the same time and then just gently push down on the lens board, and then it'll collapse back into the camera. And just keep pushing until you hear it click. And that's how you close the camera. So I'm going to back up. Next thing I want to show you is how to mount your lens. First thing you need to do is remove the body cap. So just give it a quick turn to the counterclockwise direction. That comes right out. Now to mount the lens, you need to remove the lens caps. Next, on the lens barrel, you look for the white dot. And that dot will line up to a little white dot on the face of the lens board. Once the lens is dropped in, just give it a twist to the right, excuse me, counterclockwise or clockwise until you hear it click. There, the lens is mounted. Now, each lens has its own viewfinder. The 58mm has a blue line. If you look here on the lens barrel, right where it says 58mm, underneath there's a blue line. So it's a quick visual indicator of which lens you have mounted. You want to make sure you mount the right viewfinder with the right lens. So to put the viewfinder on the top of the camera there's a little slot. Just line up the slot on the shoe of on the base of the viewfinder, and then give it a 90-degree twist. You want this large part of the viewfinder facing the front of the camera like that. Now to open the camera back in order to change the film mask, the back release is on both sides of the camera. So if you look at the front here on the right and on the left, there's matching releases. So you just hook it and pull down, then the back will come right off. And here you see the 6x12 frame. And it's held in with just little clips on the top and bottom. So what I like to do is just hook my finger underneath here and just kind of give a little pull, then lift the mask out. Now the mask does have a specific orientation. Now let's put in the, here's the 6x9 and then the 6x6. Let's drop in the 6x6 mask. Now if you look at the mask, on the top left here, you'll see the writing that indicates what the frame size is. In the top right, you'll see this notch. That notch has to go in the top right corner. What I like to do is hook the bottom clips first, and then just snap it into the top. You hear it click in. So now we have the 6x6 mask mounted. Then you line up there's a cutout at the top here for the winder key and the hot shoes on the left. Just kind of line it up and slide it in and pinch it until you hear the click. Now the camera back is on. Then the last thing I want to show you how to do is put batteries in your camera. Now looking at the camera from the front, on the top right, you'll just feel a little notch here. That's the battery compartment. So just pick it up. That slides right out like that. This camera uses two LR44 button batteries. And they don't go in the same way. If you look very closely, the compartment on the left has a plus sign. The compartment on the right has a minus sign. With these button batteries, the large flat area is the plus side, and then on the opposite side, which is just has a little slight bump on it, that's the minus. So if you can look at the battery, you'll see a plus sign on the big flat side. So the plus sign goes in facing you on the left compartment. And then I put the negative side and the plus side going the opposite direction on the right compartment. Then just give it a little close. Now, I guess the last thing I want to show you is the ISO setting for the film is here on the back of the lens board. There's a dial. So the range of ISO speeds is 8 through 1600. And the very, very last one is the B setting, which is the bulb setting. The bulb setting on this camera will keep the shutter open. I should just turn that here. I'm going to take the lens off so you can see the lens. The B setting will keep the shutter open for as long as you hold the shutter release down. That's really handy when you're doing long exposures for night photography or low light photography. Now to remove the lens, very simple. It's just reverse. Just grab the lens barrel, give it a slight twist to the left, counterclockwise. Lens comes right out. You can exchange it for the normal 90mm lens. Change the viewfinder. There we go, we just did a lens change. You don't have to, you can change the lens at any time while film is loaded, but you can only change the mask between film loads. You won't be able to change format sizes during a roll of film because opening the camera back will of course expose the film. And that is the basic operations for the Belair X612.